Turn my music off, man. Hey, shalom to everybody. Hope everybody's well. Good to see you all again. You see the title, so you know what it is. We are getting into the Testament of Reuben today, right? And this one's about to cut everybody up, you know? But it's needed, and it's imperative that we understand this, right? And what's being said here. So put away your pride, your ego, and your vanity, and everything else, and let's open our hearts and our minds, right, and our ears, and ask that the Father help us to do so, right? Because this one's crucial, right? And then keep a lot of people from getting themselves out of the way, right? So look, it's a Testament of Reuben, again, from the Testaments of the 12 Patriarchs, the sons of Jacob, the patriarch, right? He's the firstborn of Jacob and Leah, and we're reading out the James H. Charlesworth edition, okay? Let's go ahead and get into it. A copy of the Testament of Reuben, the things which he commanded to his sons before he died in the 125th year of his life, 2 years after the death of Joseph. His brother Reuben became sick, and there gathered to watch over him his sons and his sons' sons. And he said to them, "My children, behold, I am dying, and I am going the way of my fathers." When he saw Judah and Gad and Asher, his brothers, there, he said to them, "Raise me up, so that I can tell my brothers and my children the things that I have hidden in my heart. For behold, I am departing from you now." And when he was raised up, he kissed them and said to them, "Listen, my brothers and my sons, give heed to the things which I, Reuben, your father, command you. See here, I call the power of heaven to bear witness to you this day, so that you will not behave yourselves in the ignorant ways of youth and sexual promiscuity in which I indulged myself and defiled the marriage bed of my father Jacob. But I tell you, he struck me with a severe wound in my loins for 7 months. And if my father Jacob had not prayed to the Most High in my behalf, the Most High would have destroyed me. For I was 30 years old when I committed this evil deed in the sight of the Most High. And for 7 months I was an invalid on the brink of death. And after this, with determination of soul, for 7 years I repented before the Most High. I did not drink wine or liquor. Meat did not enter my mouth, and I did not eat any pleasurable food. Rather, I was mourning over my sin, since it was so great. Never had anything like it been done in Israel. Chapter 2. And now give heed to me, my children, concerning the things which I saw during my time of penitence, concerning the 7 spirits of deceit. For 7 spirits are established against mankind, and they are the sources of the deeds of youth. And 7 other spirits are given to man at creation, so that by them every human deed is done. First is the spirit of life, with which man is created as a composite being. The second is the spirit of seeing, with which comes desire. The third is the spirit of hearing, and with which comes instruction. The fourth is the spirit of smell, with which is given taste for drawing air and breath. The fifth is the spirit of speech, with which comes knowledge. The sixth is the spirit of taste for consuming food and drink. By it comes strength, because in food is the substance of strength. The seventh is the spirit of procreation and intercourse, with which comes sins through fondness for pleasure. For this reason it was the last in the creation, and the first in youth, because it is filled with ignorance. It leads the young person like a blind man into a ditch, and like an animal over a cliff. Chapter 3. In addition to all is an 8th spirit, sleep, with which is created the ecstasy of nature and the image of death. With these are commingled the spirits of error. First, the spirit of promiscuity resides in the nature and the senses. A second spirit of insatiability in the stomach. A third spirit of strife in the liver and gall. A fourth spirit of flattery and trickery, in order that through excessive effort one might appear to be at the height of his powers. A fifth spirit of arrogance, that one might be boastful and haughty. A sixth spirit of lying, which through destructiveness and rivalry handles his affairs smoothly and secretively, even with his relatives in his household. A seventh spirit of injustice, with which are thefts and crooked dealings, in order that one might gain his heart's desire. For injustice works together with other spirits through acceptance of bribes. With all these, the spirit of sleep forms an alliance, which results in error and fantasy, and thus every young man is destroyed, darkening his mind from the truth, neither gaining understanding in the law of Ahiah, nor heeding the advice of his fathers. Just this was my plight in my youth. And now, my children, love truth, and she will preserve you. Give heed to the words of Reuben, your father. Do not devote your attention to a woman's looks, nor live with a woman who is already married, nor become involved in affairs with women. For I had not seen Bilhah bathing in a sheltered place, I would have not fallen into this great lawless act. For so absorbed were my senses by her naked femininity that I was not able to sleep until I had performed this revolting act. While our father Jacob had gone off to visit his father Isaac, and we were at Gadar near Ephrathah in Bethlehem, Bilhah became drunk and was sound asleep, naked in her bedchamber. So when I came in and saw her nakedness, I performed the impious deed without her being aware of it. Leaving her sleeping soundly, I went out, and immediately a messenger from Ahiah revealed it to my father. He came and made lamentation over me, and never again touched her. Chapter 4. Do not devote your attention to the beauty of women, my children, nor occupy your minds with their activities, but live in integrity of heart, in the fear of the Most High, and weary yourself in good deeds, in learning and in tending your flocks, until the Most High give you the mate whom he wills, so that you do not suffer as I did. For until my father's death, I never had the courage to look him in the face or speak to any of my brothers because of my disgraceful act. Even until now, my conscience harasses me because of my impious act. And yet my father consoled me greatly and prayed to the Most High in my behalf, so that the Most High's anger would pass me by, which is just how the Most High treated me. From that time until now, I have kept a careful watch and have not sinned. So then, my children, observe all the things that I command you, and do not sin. For the sin of promiscuity is the pitfall of life. Run that back. For the sin of promiscuity is the pitfall of life, separating man from God and leading on toward idolatry, because it is the deceiver of the mind and the perceptions, and leads youths down to hell before their time. For promiscuity has destroyed many. Whether a man is old, well-born, rich, or poor, he brings on himself disgrace among mankind and provides Beliar with an opportunity to cause him to stumble. You heard how Joseph protected himself from a woman and purified his mind from all promiscuity. He found favor before God and men. For the Egyptian woman did many things to him, summoned magicians and brought potions for him, but his soul's deliberation rejected evil desire. For this reason, the power of our fathers rescued him from every visible or hidden death. For if promiscuity does not triumph over your reason, then neither can Beliar conquer you. Chapter 5. All right. For women are evil, my children, and by reason of their lacking authority or power over man, they scheme treacherously how they might entice him to themselves by means of their looks, and whomever they cannot enchant by their appearance, they conquer by a stratagem. Indeed, the angel of the Most High told me and instructed me that women are more easily overcome by the spirit of promiscuity than are men. They contrive in their hearts against men, then by decking themselves out, they lead men's minds astray. By a look, they implant their poison, and finally, in the act itself, they take them captive. For a woman is not able to coerce a man overtly, but a harlot's manner she accomplishes her villainy. Accordingly, my children, flee from sexual promiscuity, and order your wives and your daughters not to adorn their heads in their appearances, so as to deceive men's sound minds. For every woman who schemes in these ways is destined for eternal punishment. For it was thus that they charmed the watchers who were before the flood. As they continued looking at the women, they were filled with desire for them and perpetrated the act in their minds. Then they were transformed into human males, and while the women were cohabitating with their husbands, they appeared to them. Since the women's minds were filled with lust for these apparitions, they gave birth to giants. For the watchers were disclosed to them as being as high as the heavens. Chapter 6. So guard yourselves against sexual promiscuity. And if you want to remain pure in your mind, protect your senses from women, and tell them not to consort with men, so that they too might be pure in their minds. For even recurrent chance meetings, although the impious act itself is not committed, are for these women an incurable disease. But for us they are a plague of Beliar and an eternal disgrace. Because in sexual promiscuity there is a place for neither understanding nor piety, and every passion dwells in its desire. For this reason I say to you, you will vie with the sons of Levi and will seek to be exalted above them, but you will not be able. For Ahiah will perform vengeance in their behalf, and you will die an evil death, since Ahiah gave Levi the authority, and to Judah with him, as well as to me, and to Dan and to Joseph, to be rulers. It is for this reason that I command you to give heed to Levi, because he will know the law of Ahiah, and will give instructions concerning justice and concerning sacrifice for Israel until the consummation of times. He is the anointed priest of whom the Most High spoke. I call to witness the power of heaven that you do the truth, each to his neighbor, and that you show love, each to his brother. Draw near to Levi in humility of your hearts, in order that you may receive blessing from his mouth. For he will bless Israel and Judah, and since it is through him that the Most High has chosen to reign in the presence of all the people. Prostrate yourselves before his posterity, because his offspring will die in your behalf in wars visible and invisible, and he shall be among you an eternal king. Chapter 7. And Reuben died, having spoken these commandments to his sons, and they placed him in a coffin until they carried him up from Egypt and buried him in Hebron, in the cave where his father was. Beautiful. Hey, brother, what's going on, Mike? Hope you're well, man. I hope you gotta rewind this back. I needed to hear this, and I wish I heard this earlier this week, you know what I'm saying? Because felt like Eddie Brock, bro. I was like, But look, I'm about to get into the book of John now, man. Stick around if you want. Or if not, it's all good. But I'm about to go. I got to go to work at 4, so I need this. I need to be revitalized, right? And I figured, why not, hop on here and do it too, because I'm sure everybody need it as well, right? So I'm hopping to the book of John now, before I gotta go pick some cotton out there, you know? So look. Oh man. Alright. This is in the New Testament, the book of John, the Gospel according to John in the Holy Bible. Alright. My man. Alright. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with Ahiah, and the Word was God. The same was in the beginning with Ahiah. All things were made by him, and without him was not anything made that was made. In him was life, and the life was the light of men. And the light shineth in darkness, and the darkness comprehended it not. There was a man sent from Ahiah whose name was John. The same came for a witness, to bear witness of the light, that all men through him might believe. He was not that light, but was sent to bear witness of that light. That was the true light, which lighteth every man that cometh into the world. He was in the world, and the world was made by him, and the world knew him not. He came unto his own, and his own received him not. But as many as received him, to them gave he power to become the sons of Ahiah, even to them that believe on his name, which were born not of blood, nor of the will of the flesh, nor of the will of man, but of Ahiah. And the Word was made flesh and dwelt among us, and we beheld his glory, and the glory as of the only begotten of the Father, full of grace and truth. John bare witness of him, and cried, saying, This was he of whom I spake. He that cometh after me is preferred before me, for he was before me. And of his fullness have all we received the grace for grace. For the law was given by Moses, but grace and truth came by Yeshua Christ. No man hath seen Ahiah at any time, the only begotten Son, which is in the bosom of the Father. He hath declared him. And this is the record of John, when the Jews sent priests and Levites from Jerusalem to ask him, Who art thou? And he confessed and denied not, but confessed, I am not the Christ. And they asked him, What then? Art thou Elijah? And he saith, I am not. Art thou that prophet? And he answered, No. Then said they unto him, Who art thou? That we may give an answer to them that sent us. What sayest thou of thyself? He said, I am the voice of one crying in the wilderness, Make straight the way of the Lord, as said the prophet Isaiah. And they which were sent were of the Pharisees. And they asked him, and said unto him, Why baptizest thou then, if thou be not that Christ, nor Elijah, neither that prophet? John answered them, saying, I baptize with water, but there standeth one among you, whom ye know not. He it is, whom coming after me is preferred before me, whose shoe latchet I am not worthy to unloose. These things were done in Beth Abara, beyond Jordan, where John was baptizing. Give me one sec, man, because I gotta see something. Alright, just make sure the elders aren't going live on the channel yet, because I'm waiting to hear their lesson that they got. Alright. And they're not on their main channel anymore. You gotta go type in GOCC NYC, because, you know, they're trying to censor and shut down the truth. So subscribe to both. Subscribe to all the GOCC channels, right? Because everybody always brings out crucial, excellent information, right? So I just want to make sure I'm not in the way of that, because I want to tune into that before I gotta go pick some cotton, you know? Jump down, turn around, baby. Where did we leave off? Chapter 28. Chapter 1, verse 28. We're in the book of John. These things were done in Beth Abara, beyond Jordan, where John was baptizing. The next day John seeth Yeshua coming unto him, and saith, Behold, the Lamb of Ahiah, which taketh away the sin of the world. This is he of whom I said, After me cometh a man which is preferred before me, for he was before me, and I knew him not, but that he should be made manifest to Israel. Therefore am I come baptizing with water. And John bare record, saying, I saw the Spirit descending from heaven like a dove, and it abode upon him. And I knew him not, but he that sent me to baptize with water, the same said unto me, Upon whom thou shalt see the Spirit descending and remaining on him, the same is he which baptizes with the Holy Spirit. And I saw and bare record that this is the son of Ahiah. Again, the next day after John stood, and two of his disciples, And looking upon Yeshua as he walked, he saith, Behold the Lamb of Ahiah. And the two disciples heard him speak, and they followed Yeshua. Then Yeshua turned and saw them following, and saith unto them, What seek ye? They said unto him, Rabbi, which is to say, being interpreted, Master, where dwellest thou? He saith unto them, Come and see. They came and saw where he dwelt, and abode with him that day, for it was about the 10th hour. One of the two which heard John speak and followed him was Andrew, Simon Peter's brother. He first findeth his own brother Simon, and saith unto him, We have found the Messiah, which is being interpreted the Christ. And he brought him to Yeshua, and when Yeshua beheld him, he said, Thou art Simon, son of Jonah. Thou shalt be called Cephas, which is by interpretation a stone. The day following, Yeshua would go forth into Galilee, and findeth Philip, and saith unto him, Follow me. Now Philip was of Bethsaida, the city of Andrew and Peter. Philip findeth Nathanael, and saith unto him, We have found him, of whom Moses in the law and the prophets did write, Yeshua of Nazareth, the son of Joseph. And Nathanael said unto him, Can there any good thing come out of Nazareth? Philip saith unto him, Come and see. Yeshua saw Nathanael coming to him, and saith of him, Behold, an Israelite indeed, in whom is no guile. Nathanael saith unto him, Whence knowest thou me? Yeshua answered and said unto him, Before that Philip called thee, when thou wast under the fig tree, I saw thee. Nathanael answered and saith unto him, Rabbi, thou art the son of Ahiah, thou art the king of Israel. Yeshua answered and said unto him, Because I said unto thee, I saw thee under the fig tree, believest thou? Thou shalt see greater things than these. And he saith unto him, Verily, verily, I say unto you, hereafter ye shall see heaven open, and the angels of Ahiah ascending and descending upon the Son of Man. Chapter 2. And the third day there was a marriage in Canaan of Galilee, and the mother of Yeshua was there. And both Yeshua was called and his disciples to the marriage. And when they wanted wine, the mother of Yeshua saith unto him, They have no wine. Yeshua saith unto her, Woman, what have I to do with thee? Mine hour is not yet come. His mother saith unto the servants, Whatsoever he saith unto you, do it. And there were set there 6 water pots of stone, after the manner of the purifying of the Jews, containing 2 or 3 firkins apiece. Yeshua saith unto them, Fill the water pots with water. And they filled them up to the brim. And he saith unto them, Draw out now, and bear unto the governor of the feast. And they bare it. When the ruler of the feast had tasted the water that was made wine, and and knew not whence it was, but the servants withdrew the water knew, that the governor of the feast called the bridegroom, and saith unto him, Every man in the beginning doth set forth good wine, and when men have well drunk, then that which is worse, but thou hast kept the good wine until now. This beginning of miracles did Yeshua at Canaan of Galilee, and manifested forth his glory, and his disciples believed on him. After this, he went down to Capernaum, he and his mother and his brethren and his disciples, and they continued there not many days. And the Jews' Passover was at hand. And the Jews' Passover was at hand, when Yeshua went up to Jerusalem, and found in the temple those that sold oxen and sheep and doves, and the changers of money sitting. And when he had made a scourge of small cords, he drove them out of the temple, and the sheep and the oxen, and poured out the changers of money, and overthrew the tables, and said unto them that sold doves, Take these things hence, make not my Father's house an house of merchandise. And his disciples remembered that it was written, The zeal of thine house hath eaten me up. Then answered the Jews and said unto him, What sign shewest thou unto us, seeing that thou doest these things? Yeshua answered and said unto them, Destroy this temple, and in 3 days I will raise it up. Then said the Jews, 46 years was this temple in building, and wilt thou rear it up in 3 days? But he spake of the temple of his body. When therefore he was risen from the dead, his disciples remembered that he had said this unto them, and they believed the scripture and the word which Yeshua had said. Now when he was in Jerusalem at the Passover in the feast day, many believed in his name when they saw the miracles which he did. But Yeshua did not commit himself unto them, because he knew all men, and needed not that any should testify of man, for he knew what was in man. All right, I'm gonna hold it right there, man. I'm gonna tune into this broadcast and probably pick up the sticks for a little bit before I gotta go in here, man. But hope everybody's well. Hope y'all taking care of yourselves. Stay prayed up. You know, it's imperative. You can see in spirit tell you, right, that we're close at hand, right? Like the scriptures say. Now our salvation is nearer than we believed, right? Things are happening up. The pace is getting quicker, right? Amen. And it's imperative that we stay in the spirit and stay in the word and stay prayed up. Pray continually, right? You know, it's crazy. I saw that the #1 thing on Netflix in America right now is some TV show called Lucifer, right? So that lets you know the state of this country, right? And that's what people are tuning into and focusing on at this time, right? Every whim of madness and evil is what got people attention, right? But they don't know that great calamity is coming down the pipe, and it's soon to be here, right? And that's no doubt. So we got to fortify ourselves, ask that the Father protect us, keep us, strengthen us, and go with us and before us, and teach us the ways of Christ, so that we can endure this great tribulation which is coming down the pipe, right? Because I mean, now lines are being drawn on the sand. You lukewarm, you're getting spit out. You know, we stand with the Father in Christ, or stand with the devil. But be prepared for whatever choice you make, right? And let's walk in that with all our strength, right? And so the lines are being drawn in the sand, man. I'm waiting for Satan himself to pop on TV in a dang suit and tie, talking about, all right, this is how it's gonna go. You know, slapping papers down, like, all right, this is the agenda. Right, you know what I'm saying? It's getting to that point. We might even see that for real. But everybody, be safe. Take care of yourself. All right. Peace to you all. Happy Sabbath.